Let's turn our attention now to a very important and powerful entity in Pakistani society, an entity that some experts argue was responsible for the assassination of Benazir Bhutto. That is the ISI, Inter-Services Intelligence. Estimates are that there are some 10,000 agents in ISI. Some experts have called it a kind of state within a state. The ISI, in some respects, has operated like our CIA, however with a much greater degree of freedom to, well, to do about anything they please, quite frankly. One of the ISI's projects, beginning in the 1970s, was the support, training, and equipping of a group called Lashkar-e-Taiba. Lashkar-e-Taiba was one of a number of what we would call terrorist organizations, what they would call guerrilla movements, whose goal was the repatriation of the Kashmir region. Kashmir is the area that connects northern India to northern Pakistan. It's an area that these two countries have been fighting over for decades. Lashkar-e-Taiba is committed to making Kashmir an integral part of Pakistan, and ISI was only too happy to provide this group with material support. Late last year, at the end of November, right around Thanksgiving, November 26th, Lashkar-e-Taiba launched a surprise, massive attack on the important port city of Mumbai, once known as Bombay. It is the financial capital and entertainment capital of India. Dozens of Lashkar-e-Taiba commandos landed in speedboats and proceeded to unleash mayhem, chaos, and murder on this port city. Though no direct evidence of ISI involvement has been found, it is almost certain that elements within ISI were directly involved with Lashkar-e-Taiba and the attack on Mumbai. The President of Pakistan, who is today Asif Ali Zardari, the widower of Benazir Bhutto, only has moderate control over the Inter-Services Intelligence Bureau, the ISI. What we're going to watch now are some clips of that horrific attack on Mumbai at the end of November 2008.
Reporting live from the scene as the Taj Hotel continues to burn, an ongoing hostage situation. We believe Westerners are the target there of the terrorists, and reports of at least 50 people, some of them Westerners, who have safely gotten out of the hotel. We just heard briefly from one person who's speaking in Hindi and said, according to Zain Verji, I survived. And beyond that, we will try to get you a translation, get you a sense of what the people inside the hotel are saying right now. John McLaughlin is a former acting CIA director who looks at security matters for us. John, as you watch this unfold, put this in a little bit of context for us. The Islamic terrorists in India, what is their, in a broad sense, what is their goal?
Well, I think what we probably have going on here, Miles, is evidence of something we've seen developing slowly in recent years, and that is a growth in the connections between Islamic terrorism in India and Islamic terrorism more broadly, globally. There have been indications in recent years that Al-Qaeda, for example, has tightened its relationship with Islamic terrorists who dispute the status of the province of Kashmir in northwestern India. So my guess at this point, there are about 4 different kinds of terrorist groups in India, ranging from Maoist rebels to tribal-based ethnic separatists, My guess at this point is that we're probably seeing someone from the Kashmiri Islamic militant groups. These groups are seeking the independence of Kashmir, or they want India out of Kashmir. Pakistan occupies all part of Kashmir, and most of these groups are Pakistani or tied to Pakistanis. The other thing is, if you think back to the last...
John McLaughlin, very sorry, I've got to interrupt you. I apologize.
Sure.
Please stand by, if you would. If you could stay on the line, we'd appreciate it. We'll get back to you shortly. And we're going to join now James Fontanella, who is a correspondent of Financial Times. He is in Mumbai. And James, give us a sense of where you are and what you're seeing right now.
Well, at the moment, I'm outside St. George's Hospital, and I've just come from the Oberoi, where there's still 2 terrorists, I've been told by a senior official. There's still 2 terrorists in the hotel. The Oberoi, just for your information, is one of the main business and most important hotels in the southern part of the city. And basically, I've also been told that one of the terrorists has been shot and one has been captured. So that means that there were about 4 inside. There's still a lot of guests in there. There's businessmen. There's also some diplomats and also a lot of tourists, obviously. At the moment, as I said, I'm outside St. George's Hospital, where a lot of the wounded and unfortunately the killed have been brought here. I know that 10 businessmen which have been described white men, they couldn't tell me their nationality, have been brought here, and I'm trying to figure out who these people are and so forth.
Tell me, let's go back and talk a little bit about the Oberoi, James. You say, as best we know, there are terrorists still inside. Do we have any sense as to how many hostages they might be holding there?
Well, it's very unclear, unfortunately. I've been told 40 by one official, but then somebody said like only 10. So I'm not comfortable to give you a precise number. We don't know. That is the only real answer I have. But yes, there are hostages in the Oberoi. I saw a few people coming out, and some from the back, some from the front with their hands up. So that's what I've seen from outside the Oberoi.
Joining me now on the telephone from Mumbai is Philip Badge, who was in one of the hotels that was attacked. Philip, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Are you out of harm's right now?
I think so. We're about 200 meters away from the Oberoi Hotel, and it currently seems reasonably calm.
How did you get away?
Down the fire escape. I was on the 19th floor. There was a number of explosions going on. I basically stayed in the room until smoke started pouring in, at which point I decided it was time to get out of there.
What did you see and hear all around you when this was happening?
There wasn't a lot of noise in the hotel apart from the explosions. Everything went very quiet. When I did come out of the room, everything was dark. There was smoke everywhere. It was just a matter of feeling my way to get to the fire escape and then down. Everything was very badly lit.
Did you have any indication as it was happening that this was a terrorist attack? Was that your instinct?
No idea what it was, in fairness. Totally new to it.
And now that you know the details, how do you feel?
It's just horrific. I mean, we're sitting here, out in the open air, and you can hear the explosions not only coming from the hotel we were in, but actually all around the city. It's quite scary.
Heavily armed Indian troops clad in black have been raiding hotels in Mumbai, trying to free hostages and confront the terrorists who plunged the city into chaos.
We won't be able to put a number. The people who were held up, they have all been rescued. From the Taj Hotel, all those people who held up there last night in banquet halls, in restaurants, they were all safely evacuated, mostly in the night, some early morning today. But there are guests in the rooms. We don't know the numbers here, how many.
Still, explosions and gunshots could be heard in the financial district of the sprawling city as a number of gunmen remain at large.
The firing took place where there was an encounter on the 18th floor of the Trident Hotel. That's the time the militants were able to make contact with the NSC column. After that, they hold it to a room. The room has been identified, and that's how the firing has been at times intermittent. Sporadic firing is going on.
Officials are still wary of giving any definitive number of casualties from the attacks that began Wednesday night, but they say at least 119 people were killed and nearly 300 others were wounded. But there are fears that number will grow as police and troops scour the hotels.